This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
I'm your host Willie Kinyash and karibuni sana. And today we want to talk about how to date when you have no time. And we want to speak to that group of people. They have reached that age. They are at their peak. They are too busy with their career, and at the same time they want to date and start a family. And so we need to understand that there are some rules we need to have so that we can make the right decisions. And the coach is right here for us.
Yeah, so Willie, this becomes necessary when maybe you have just hit your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have come away from something difficult that you surmounted.
Mm-hmm.
Frequently having inherited dependents who maybe parents are absent or they died or something happened and you had a lot of mess at home to deal with. Sometimes you can't turn your back. You are the only one.
Yes.
And if you turn back, it is done.
Yeah.
These people are lost. There's too much pain and chaos and need and deprivation. Let me remind you that we are in a very chaotic continent. Very chaotic. There was no planning. From the family point, there's no planning.
Yeah.
People are getting children. Just getting children.
Anyhow.
And then the children themselves have to carry each other.
So children are raising up children.
We are coming from, many people are coming from a place where you have to take up other people's abandoned responsibilities. So if you are coming from that setting, and by the time you went far enough to pick everybody from the mud, so that we can start journeying into life. And I told you many of us are not really hoping for a journey, we just wanted rescue. We suspect that our energy will be spent here, or our days will be spent here.
Yeah.
If you're coming from that situation, or you had messed up your life, got a child when you're too young, involved yourself into emotional entanglements that were very costly, energy-wise.
Yeah.
Some people's energy was drained in unwise involvements. And by the time they woke up, they'd committed a 10-year worth mistake. So that by the time they could stand on their feet and prop up the person they'd brought into the picture, the child they'd got into the picture in their moments of madness, time was gone.
Yeah.
Remember, it is possible to have children and never have been in love.
Very possible.
Because getting children is biological. Love is another question.
Yes.
It just takes a moment of blinking.
2 seconds.
And you are a father.
Yes.
You are a mother. It just takes a moment of losing concentration. Life is like driving on the highway. You just blink and you are off.
You have lost
I
control.
don't know why we were not told that fact, yet it is potentially fatal. It's a highway, it's moving very fast, very fast.
Yeah.
If you blink, you are off. Whatever reason delayed you until you are coming to dating with a sense of urgency, you're the one we are talking to. Knowing that if you don't do it now, you never do it. There are some things in life are now or never. People think there are second chances every time. Some seasons are once in a lifetime. They don't. Genesis 8 had already told you, 8:20, that for as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, day and night, winter and summer, shall not cease. The wheel of seasons was set in motion for as long as this earth endures. Some seasons come and go. There's a time and a season for every matter under the sun.
Yeah.
And we are not saying some things you can't get them to do over. There's a time you can get to do over. But the freshness of entering marriage life and love life, when you're convinced that you are not one of those called to celibacy, you're not one of those called to live away from marriage, marriage is part of your calling, you feel like when the season has arrived, you know it's time. Remember the worst thing of missing the train of marriage, if that is part of your journey in life, you may run out of patience to wait for the second one. Many people collapsed because they missed the first one.
Yeah.
There are many people today, you see in funny arrangements, in this funny, and they start justifying it, and you can see they're unhappy, they're exposed to diseases and depression. And this person is a nice person, they missed their season. What are some of the things that you need to do differently? That's what we want to tell you today. So whether you missed because you traveled at the time you should have been settling. There are some people who, she's 27 and now she's flying to America to start a master's of 5 years. And she's not thinking what that means.
Yeah.
She's 28, filling up forms to go to Sweden. A guy just hitting 30 and now he's starting a PhD in Canada. So he's there 5 years, 8 years. By the time he's coming back, he's wondering, okay, where are people? People have gone.
I'm 35.
People have gone. And you start settling for whatever is available. You arrive at the market when they're closing. Yes. You have few options.
Yes.
You pick whatever is
there. What is available?
You know, you arrive there when the markets are closing. You wanted some some cereals.
Yes.
So the sellers are wrapping up, only a few are trying to, and you're trying to grab whatever you can get. If you arrive late, you are left to pick whatever is available, whether it is good or not. Otherwise, you go hungry and go empty. There are some things you need to do your mathematics. The rule number one, if you're dating when you have absolutely no luxury of time, you have a sense of urgency, but you're not impatient. Differentiate the two. You know you have only 2 hours for shopping. So you need to move with intention and focus. Does not mean you are desperate and careless and impatient. It means you are aware that your time is short. Are we together?
Yes.
You know your time is short. You need, and I was coming from that group, we used to call ourselves late crop. We came to realize actually that was the general timeline for most men. Most men in Africa are marrying between 30 to 35. The middle age is the most frequent age of marriage is 32, is 33. That's when men have settled enough to be able to concentrate and build a family.
There's some men who are saying, by 27, I am ready for this.
You may find outliers, and most outliers are 28. They're marrying at 28, 29, 30. But it's because they had close mentorship for long from a father figure. Close mentorship for long. Not relationship with a girl for long. Differentiate.
It is mentorship.
Differentiate.
Yes.
Some are marrying because the entanglement has weighed them down. They are now caught up in a pregnancy. And that marriage can't stand. Becoming a husband is taking up leadership. The CEO, the leader, the vision bearer, the flag bearer of a group called family is assuming the helms of chairmanship, of leadership. That leadership is very demanding. You can't give it to a boy. That's one reason men don't marry early. That's why it can't work. He's marrying at 24 and marrying at 21-year-old. Can't work. Number one.
But there are some who are saying it has worked.
Again, what you call worked is different. We are talking about happy, healthy marriage producing healthy children.
Thank you.
Many of them, what they're calling worked is just confusion.
Just because they are together, they have not separated.
And they don't have a dream. And many of them have subdued the other person, reduced them to voicelessness. So, number one, the first condition for you to date at this season is to use a style called hybrid. Hybrid is a combination of building the career while you are trying to establish family concurrently. Hybrid comes from a place where your career is very demanding, but it's still not established. Understand that?
Yeah.
Some people's career is like the aircraft taking off. When things are taking off, they're very demanding.
Yeah.
You have to rev the engines to maximum. You have to rev. You have to lift. Use all the energy you have, and you're fighting against gravity, fighting against the wind to build enough momentum to take off. The business is young. You are everything. You are the accounts. You are the salesperson. You are the customer relations. You are the product developer.
You're the manager.
When it is young, you are everything, and it is very demanding. What about if at the same time you're trying to date? Meet new people. Consider this one. Chat, flat, easy talk, conversation. And you know, dating is very petty. It requires just easy chatting.
Yes.
You can say, I have no time. Tell me quickly. What are you looking for? Me too. You can't hurry some things. They have to take their rhythm. But your life as it is, it has no time. Some things have happened, and you have arrived here knowing, I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
If your business cannot be hands-off, if you can't delegate it, you use hybrid. Hybrid method is where you treat the dating as another job you're also starting. It's another thing you're also doing. And you give it specific time. Actually, it works. A very structured time. You say, I will only do meetings on Saturdays afternoon. You block Saturdays afternoon, you close business. Don't put appointments Saturdays afternoons, or every day from 7 p.m. You give an hour. I'll be available for an hour for coffee. Then I'll go to rest. I have an intense day. The next day I have to start early, but I can set apart 6 p.m. to 7:30 to 8. Set an hour there somewhere. Even if when you're dating, you remember there are people who used to tell you, I always only get time every evening at 7 p.m. And you respected that. You actually saw this person making effort to be available, isn't it?
Yeah.
As opposed to the one telling you, I don't know when next I'll ever be available for coffee. If your job is demanding and you can't lay it hands off because you need it, but at the same time you need to date, there's a very demanding young job. You are a young employee. You don't have a name. When you grow up in your career, you have a name. And you can adjust your terms of employment, isn't it? But when you are young, do you have a name?
No.
You're taking it take it or leave it. Nobody wants to know what you're talking about. When you are young in your business or in your job, and it is very demanding at the same time, it's time to settle. You shall intentionally do these two things. Set regular, weekly, or daily time with the seriousness as if it were a career as well. If you do not deliberately do, it will be swept off by the job, swept up by fatigue, swept up by the demand, swept up by extra work. This one you force it, knowing I need to date now, and dating needs time. So I have set apart 1 hour every day. When I'm not meeting anybody, I'll be online, interacting where people are. Remember we said, the leading connector points is groups, virtual groupings and pages. People are discussing serious issues of life. As you engage, it gives you 3 benefits concurrently. I have not found another advantage like that. 3 benefits concurrently. You log into pages that are talking about life and issues, and you're contributing. It's like a group discussion. I want you to view it like a city hall where people are in groups and workshops. So there's a workshop for career, workshop for parenting, workshop for online is like workshops. So you go to a workshop where they're talking marriage and relationships. So check into that workshop every day. Throw in your contribution. Hear what other guys are saying. What is the debate today? When you show up that way, the regular attenders will also notice you. They will see your way of thinking. Yes. That's how you begin to connect. That is a more, it has one advantage. 1, gets you learning every day. Number 2, gets you meeting new people every day. Number 3, it shows you people's true colors indirectly, because the only best way you can observe human beings is when they're not trying to make an impression. That's the only time you can see people in sincerity. Yes. People are complex. When they know they're meeting you, they'll put their best foot forward. It will take a lot of to see really behind the mask.
Yes.
When you come up in classroom where we are discussing an agenda that day, a heated agenda. Why are people doing ABCD? Me, I think that time when they're talking in a heated to win, that you see sense. You see sensible people, wise people, impatient people. You see it. You see it. Again, when you set apart every hour, every day, or an afternoon per week, and possibly a week per year, whatever. But don't think of per year, because the strategy we're giving you today, you should settle in a year or 2. If you follow what you're saying, you should marry in a year or 2. If your job is young and demanding, so that it gives you little money, but it requires all the energy you have.
Yes.
And some people tell me they're standing until their feet are swollen. By the end of the day, your legs are aching. You are walking. Imagine young nurses. Whatever job they can get. You want whatever job. So you're given the hardest.
Yeah.
And you're paid the lowest. You know,
Yes.
this life is unfair. Those who are... And it's not really unfair. It's just the process. As you become more authority, as you become more respectable, you'll be able to earn better and be paid better. So the first instruction to those people, career is young, but you are too old for it. Sometimes you are late. You are aware yourself that you are starting late in the day. Your colleagues are very young. But you are coming from some place. As, for example, imagine a person who got into these early marriages, these suicidal, self-destructive marriages of closing your eyes. And whenever I was talking to one lady, she told me, I got this kid, 2 children, which is, I think, 2021 thereabout. I told her, you must have been a rebel, such a rebellious person. Who are you rebelling against? After you got the first child, you should have woken up. So, by the way, that is the word. I was defiant. After Form 4, I ran away from home, went to do those gigs, and now you're just selling things. And the way they give you sales jobs and I'm not... Before college, just that time. Then she has eloped from home. And I told her, the mistakes of youth are unforgivable. I don't know why, but when you make blunders before you become anybody in life, you pay 10 times. It's better you get a kid, better you mess up your life when you're 30-something. When you have at least a career, a space you can go to sleep. But if you do the same blunder when you have no career, you are independent at home, you can't afford to feed yourself, you need school fees, the pain and the lashes are too many. Warn these kids, especially before they leave high school. They're making most of the blunders just after high school. Those mistakes they're making, thinking they're going behind their parents' back to sleep with somebody. In campus, in university, the punishment is too severe. Many of them are coming to dating late because of trying to compensate for those mistakes. The punishment is unfair, too big. Get a child in first year university, you regret it 20 times. Even if you call it a bundle of joy. I was blessed with that baby. Blessed, 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 huh? Blessed, huh?
You're blessed.
Blessed, huh? Okay, blessed. Let me tell you the truth. You don't project hatred on the child, of course. The child is innocent. But that timing and that carelessness that descended you to dating at that age and opening your body for such a thing during such a contentious time. That's the time you're contending for your life. That's the time you're contending for your future. That's the time you're contending for significance, for recognition, for money, for freedom. It's during college. That's when you're contending. It's a contention. There's no assurance. Let me tell you, it's a scramble and a partition. My brother, there's no assurance. It's how much you fight. It's how much you fight. And attending class alone is not enough. How many graduates are still tamarking 10 years after getting the degree? If you think by just being in class, getting a degree, I'm preparing for life, so let me get somebody to marry me because next chapter is getting married. Now I'm having a degree, I'm secure of life. You're very foolish. You're just a visitor to Jerusalem, my friend. You're just a visitor to Jerusalem. It's obnoxious. There are people who talk and I am sorry, I have to shut them in between. Telling, are you awake? Can you shake your head? Are you sleep talking? Where are you? Personally, Willie, the trauma of watching the excessive punishment people were visited upon by just missing the timing when they're so young, and the agony they were signed up for, they were scolded by life, whipped again and again. When I see another person trying to do it, it is traumatizing for me. I tell them the only time I can listen to that madness is after you have paid. That I can buy paracetamol.
After the session.
Let me buy aspirin too.
Yes.
It's like being told to watch as people massacre their life. It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. I am still trying to wrap my head around why we are doing it. And my prayer is that a few, even 2, will be saved. It is too painful. Number 1, you follow the hybrid method. Hybrid method is you split your day between job and dating, as if dating was another job.
Let me ask,
yes.
What happens when you try to split this and the person you're dating is not understanding?
They are not the right person.
So you run for your life?
Yes, you go to another one.
I just love the way you are always open.
Yes. Hybrid means you take dating as another job. I'm emphasizing this because most people, they never take dating seriously enough to carve out time for it, energy for it, space for it, money for it, budget for it. When the season comes, they just say, I hope I meet someone. I hope time is going. I'm just hoping. I'm open to it. No. When you're dating late, when you're dating and you've no time, don't think like that. You say, I'm hoping to establish a family and also establish the company. I just started my own business. It's very demanding. But at the same time, I need to get married. So what I can do, I will be calculating and strict. All my lunch hours are available for coffee, for example. But lunch hours are not because they can prolong. I propose after work.
Yes.
Tell people after work you can always do coffee. And I've seen many, especially medical doctors, the career of medicine starts with a lot of intensity. Some careers are very intense. Careers like pharmacy, careers like medicine, they need a lot of training, and early on you are put under teachers. So you're being paid meager thing. Imagine a lawyer who just started and he's still a pupil. Pupil is not the primary school kid. In law is a technical word for a young lawyer and a pupil master. So the under master who being taught, and the pupillage may take a year or two, and that's the time they're also feeling like this is a time to get established. And whenever you hear, we are talking about to people at least 30 years. If you're not yet 30 years, as a man, you're not there. As a lady, you're on time. So you're not late. You should follow the natural procedure we talked of.
Yeah.
There are other procedures of dating when you're in season. The second method of dating is to work from the future as opposed from the past. Change your reference point from being the past to the future. I need to emphasize that.
Yeah.
Because there's something unpleasant in your past. By the time you're delaying in dating, there's a reason. That reason is never a pleasant thing. It's a mistake, it's a delay, burdens, it's lack, it's poverty, it's abandonment, it's lack of parental support. It's something painful.
Yeah.
Low self-esteem. For so long it held you down. You could not believe you're lovable. You turned down lovers. You ignored people. You looked away. You avoided. Many people are very avoidant because they don't feel deserving of being treated right or being loved. They don't think they can. They don't believe in marriage. They saw it collapse. Really, there are many of us in our past. There's nothing to be proud of. We were put down and abandoned and neglected. We were not validated. We were invalidated. Ignored, left to guess who we are in this world. And it was by, is it divine grace or what, for us to have anything that can be looked at?
Yes, it is divine grace.
We cannot trace the dots, how we got here. It's staggering. You know, have you seen the footsteps of a staggering person? You can't trace. We staggered here. As opposed to being held by hand by a person who brought you into the world, or being guided well, and we're hoping to give our children that kind of guidance. Many of us, we had to stagger in the rain. It's only 50-50 we did not get blown up by landmines. When you have such a murky past, you can't use it to inspire you. Every time you look back, it drains you of energy. When you remember many times you nearly collapsed, how narrowly you escaped disaster. How painful it was to endure. How much internal fight in your thoughts and your mind and your compulsions. How much intimidation, so much abandonment. How many nights of tears. How much crying. Much regretting. And even today you are still going. You know, some of us attend therapy secretly. When things are sensitive, you don't announce them to the world. They will add another pain there. So you sneak to the doctor quietly. You're given your pill. You swallow your pill and you shout to the world, "Good morning, world." I told guys I attended 75 hours of therapy. 1 hour every day. 1 hour every week. 75. That's over a year.
Wow.
It's like a year and a half of constant therapy. It was a requirement of my own master's. It was 25 PhDs. It was 50 hours. So I did not sign up because I felt I needed it. Somehow, divine organized to force me.
Yes. you had to go through it.
It was part of my schooling, but I realized I needed it so much. That's how I became a champion of therapy. Even if you're not taking 75 hours, take 1. Take 2. I remember I was paying. The school is not paying. It's a requirement. Just they give you a recommended therapist, the list of pick 1, pay, attend, bring the letter.
What?
So, by the time I came out, I was so aware. I was brought to a different place. I had cleaned up so much. I'd have offloaded so much. I had come out to a different person. I don't think I would ever have been peaceful husband, capable husband for peaceful marriage. I don't think I would have been a stable person to advise. I don't think most men are not told to listen to advice and to seek help. We are told to just try, act like we got it. So all that African egotism would have held me back for very long. Today I can securely say I don't know. It was very hard to say we don't know. Looks like a defeat, a weakness. Can safely say I have no. In my show, you've heard me admit severally there are things I don't want to be brought to.
Yes.
I don't have the capacity for them. Now I know what I don't have the capacity for. For example, things that are traumatic and self-destructive. I don't have the emotional space for them. I can't sit there crying. You have to pay me very well.
Yeah.
For me to prepare for a week. To come and listen how you ran away from home at 19.
You are being provided everything.
To go sign up for hell, or even worse still, when there's nobody to provide for you. Instead of thinking of building a life, you are jumping to destroy this body. The only thing you have to work out your life. Now you're trying to give it away. Enjoy. And now you're narrating to me. No.
You don't have time for that.
There are counselors who can sit there and enjoy it. I'm not one of them.
Not Benjamin.
No. Please hear right some of the traumatic things we go through life. Even hearing them traumatizes you secondarily. And I think it's because I was born where there was so much massacre and death. As a cow of destinies. We buried so many young people. I saw it, my brother. Young coffins are very difficult to watch. They're too painful to watch. And I think that's how I relate to them. Some don't die, but they die in terms of usefulness to this world. They become a living dead. They start living on, the way people live on medication, others live on alcohol. So they have to look for something to blind them from the hard life they have created. And yet, the opportunity was before them. The first rule is you adopt a hybrid system. The second rule is you operate from the future. The future says this: because I am meant to become this, you create a clear picture of the future you anticipate and put it in front of you and use it to make decisions now. You use it because the one for the past is destroyed. It is very painful. You can reference to it to help other victims, but you can't reference to it to inspire you.
True.
Okay. So you create, say, I believe I'm supposed to build a business empire, be a good dad and a princely guy. I'm supposed to be royal, supposed to have money and to help people. I'm supposed to be nice and a healer. I'm supposed to be rich and vibrant and sunny and bubbly and happy. You build the life you think, you feel like it's for you. You paint a canvas of it and then you put it in front of you. You reference it for decisions today. Because of that, I can only date a happy person. Because of that, I need the kind of money. Because even when you are dating, you describe what you are becoming. You use your future for reference, not your past. What future? The vision of what you think you're supposed to become. You paint it in detail. For as much detail as you can gather now. It is a living thing. Sometimes your vision keeps taking shape, but it has direction. You need to grab it now, understand it, write it. I told you writing is called psychoneuromotor activity because it involves both your psychology, your motor, and it involves thinking, and it involves motion. It gives existence to the vision when you describe it in words. Words have power, both spoken and written. All right. So when you put it in words, you're giving it form and shape and existence. When you write that and use it as your reference for dating, it gives you, first of all, assurance, confidence, and it gives you, even if in the past you are an orphan. In the past, you're abandoned. In the past, you are hated. In the past, you are rejected. In the past, you failed. In the past, you are foolish. In the past, you are careless. In the past, you lived unconsciously. In the past, you tripped here and there. In the past, But now, in the future, you are a prince.
Yes.
Elegant. In the future, you are happy and bubbly and vibrant. In the future, you are wealthy.
You're wise.
In the future, you're stable, you're exemplary, you're emulatable. In the future, you are godlike. In the future, you are emulatable. How will that change your present energy? Confidence, isn't it?
Yes.
It will give you assurance. It will give you a sure step. When you know it shall come to pass, you use it to reference your life. These are conversations that cannot be enough in one sitting.
Yeah.
But this is to give. When you date when you have no time, when you date when there's urgency, when there have been delay, you shall mix your life. If your business is too demanding, your job is too demanding that you can't pause. What is hybrid? You take dating like another job, and you carve out time for it forcefully. Some agendas in this life, you force them. Mm-hmm. Once you realize there's no other option, and I want to tell you today, if you want to date and you're a young doctor, and they are calling you sometimes on night shifts, they're keeping you on your toes. Mm-hmm. If you're a young lawyer and they're placing heavy files on you until you're reading until 2 a.m. If you're a young teacher, you're being sent to West Pokot or some inside place. If you're a young career person, but you also realize you ran late by some 5-10 years. Naturally, your career should be young when you're early 20s, isn't it?
Yeah.
If your seasons are okay, that kind of demanding job, you are 23.
Yes.
You're 24. So within 3 years, you'll have gotten somewhere where you can now find more career relief, and now you can date in a relaxed manner. But if you're arriving to the young career when you're 30, you're no longer young.
Yeah.
But the career is young. And you need to search.
Yes.
Adopt the hybrid system. And when we did our show, you saw guys coming from Garissa. There was a lady from Garissa, and there was a lady from Mombasa. There was a guy from Western Homa Bay, some place.
Pokot.
And there was a lady from West Pokot. What they were doing is the hybrid. They made it a career and said, I have a weekend to travel. 1 weekend per month, I travel out of this place. Use your money, carve out time, make it a budget, take it a job. And lastly, you shall change your reference point from the past to the future. Your past has mistakes and pleasant things. Your future has a bright promise. 4:18 of Proverbs, that the path of the righteous is like the rising sun that shines ever brighter until the perfect day. Picture the perfect day and use it to reference your decisions today, so that you don't sell short, so that you believe it is happening, so that you make better decisions. You believe you deserve. Because you think you are king, you date a queen. Because you believe you're princely, you date a princess. Because you believe you're elegant. Because you believe you're happy and satisfied in your future, you date that way today. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. And if you are out there and you feel like I am getting late to date, now you are much wiser. You have the points now. You can go out there and you can try to practice them, and they will work for you. Wish you all the best as you try these methods. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Willie Kinyash.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together, because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better